I'm going to, yes, let me share my screen. Okay. Can you see my screen now? I mean, is my screen visible for all of you?
Yes, we can see it.
Okay, thank you, brothers. Thank you all. And just before we start, let me just revisit what we've been talking about before. And then we're going to shed the lights on today's session. So first of all, let me thank you all for coming in and joining us. Thank you for joining us here in our webinar. And this is our 7th webinar talking about linguistics and advanced linguistics. And today we're going to conclude the lights or shedding the lights and conclude it when talking about the so-called language acquisition. Okay, so let's quickly recap what we've been talking about. Yeah, I think, yes, last time we talked about this. Here exactly. I'm just making a recap of what we've been talking about last week. So this week we're gonna share, yes, here exactly. Today we're gonna talk about the stages of language acquisition. So when it's come to acquisition and when it's come to languages acquisition, there are 4 stages that we need to take into our consideration. The first stage is stages of language acquisition. The first stage is called bubbling. The second stage called holophrastic stage, then 2-word stage, and the last one is called the hierarchical stage. So let's just recap because trying to recondition your mind and trying to, yes, to refresh your mind and recondition your thinking about this ideas. Yes, bubbling stage, making a lot of sequences of vowels and consonants like CV, consonant vowel, or V, only vowel, like ga, bu, etc. Yes, if you allow me, someone is sending a message. Yeah, Nabil from Ethiopia. Thank you, Mr. Nabil. Glad to have you from Ethiopia and all our friends from Ethiopia. Thank you. And now you are celebrating your new year. So happy new year, Mr. Nabil.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, bro. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Yes. Okay, now bubbling starts around the age of 6 months, okay, and is a linguistic universal, not restricted to one language. Okay, so when it's come to talking about tonal languages like Indo-European languages or Afro-Asiatic file of languages or whatsoever, whether these languages are intonation languages like English, French, Italian, Arabic, etc., or these languages are the so-called tonal languages like Chinese, Japanese, Bangladeshi, and so on, okay? And it's not, yes, it's not true that language, but like adult. So it has patterns of intonation similar to intonation contours of other language. It follows a regular course of development, which is seen to lead to the first words of the child. And then, yes, it has patterns of intonation. Okay, it follows a regular course of development, which is seen to lead to the first words of the child. Is seen as a stage of practicing for later speech. Then let us move on quickly to the second stage, which is called the holophrastic stage. So first words start to emerge around the age of 1 year. This represents the acquisition of the concept of word attaching meaning to the string of sounds. First words are monosyllabic, just one syllable. Either to be CV or V, like da, ma, etc. First word similarity to other words might be big or little. They might not have a consonant phonetic. Okay, why the term polyphasic? Single words represent full adult sentences. For example, water, for water. This can mean yes, again. It can mean I want water, or this is water, or water, American. And it means it means there's no water. Again, let's move on to the two words say. Two words utterances occur between 18 to 24 months. Firstly, they sound like two words, single word utterances with a pause in between. Later, they are uttered like one unit, no pause in between. For example, baby sleep, mommy suck, bye daddy. And we hear the last one quite a lot, right? Bye. Notes about this stage. So there are no syntactic markers. There are no function words or pronouns. Okay. And when it comes to function words, those are totally different from the so-called content words. And various grammatical relations are expressed. The hierarchical stage, there is no 3, 4, or 5 word stage that follows the 2 word stage. Once children can combine 2 words, they can produce utterances of 3, 4, 5, or more. At the beginning, these utterances have only content words. They lack function words and syntactic markers. They are not words, but put together, they are sentence-like. They have a hierarchical syntactic structure. Like mommy eat cookie, actually mommy eats cookies, okay? Yes. How does a child acquire his or her language? What mechanism does he use to do so? Why does language development take the shape it has? Why does it proceed this way and not other way? All these questions have been raised or addressed by linguists and psychologists. So today's webinar is focusing only about theories and theorists. Okay, we will be shedding the lights about today's session. We'll be talking about some theories and theorists, okay, or some scholars, linguists, and psychologists as well. Theories of first language acquisition in early days of I think it started from the 20th century. For theories, we'll be shedding the lights on behaviorism, then nativistic approach, then we will be talking about cognitive approach, and the last one is constructivism. So the first one related to B.F. Skinner, Boris Frederick Skinner. Then the second one related again to Noam Chomsky. Jean Piaget, the Swiss linguist. And the last one is gonna be Lev Vygotsky. So we'll be talking about all of them. So the first one is behaviorism. The language is behavior, or a set of behavior. This according to this school, and it's a school. Language learning is a sort of habit formation. Is based on stimulus response chains. Again, is based on stimulus response chains. Yeah, again, let's see this. The stimulus, organism response, reinforcement, reward, positive repetition, stimulus. Punished, whether it's remorsal or corporal punishment. Negative. So these are two key words, negative and positive, because they lead to something else. Yes, and learn. So if it is positive here, a student or an infant can learn, but if it is negative, so the end result, and learn. Empty black box. Input and output. S, R, R, R. So SR pairing. These are called SR pairings. Stimulus, response, reward, reinforcement, and repetition. This is called a typical Skinner experiment, and he called it reinforcement, by the way, according to his book, which he was written in early days in the middle of the 20th century, I think in 1957. As you can see this. Yes. The idea between stimulus and response. So if there's something is stimulus and the end or the goal, the end results, there will be a response for that. So behaviorist view of LA. So how they see LA or language acquisition. So language learning is a matter of producing random sounds which are gradually shaped into understandable words. So let's look at the word random and shaped. It is done by reinforcement. So positive reinforcement means praise, repetition, and a child or an infant or a student will, or people will end up learning. But what if negative reinforcement? So it leads to or punishment and not repeated, not learn or unlearn. Example. So let's just, this is a theory and this is experiment that he came with. But let's make it, look at it from a closer point of view and have this example. So for example, feels hungry. If you feel hungry, stimulus, response. Please pass the bread. Here you are. Again. Here you are. Then reward, positive reinforcement. You will be happy. Again, response, Please buy the book. No reward, negative reinforcement. So if you didn't, and you didn't repeat it, you end up not learning. This according to his theory, okay, or experiment. Problems for behaviorists. And we have here, we need to mention the famous, or two of the famous renowned behaviorists, and they are psychologists, B.F. Skinner and his friend by the name of B. Watson. Watson, W-A-T-Son. So rats are irrelevant to humans because he did his experiment on rats. So rats are irrelevant to humans, and this is a back or goes back categorically to what we've been talking, referencing what we have been talking about, animal and language, animal and human language, right? So we talk about animal and human communication. So there's no any relationship or natural relationship between the animals and human language. Why? Because human language is so specific and so unique and confined to us. To verbal stimuli, none of them appear regularly enough to be reinforced sufficiently. Some responses are appropriate, okay. Some responses are appropriate to one situation but are inappropriate to another. It would take a very long time to learn all the SR pairings of language. How can entirely new utterances be created and understood? For example, look at this example. The elephant drank 17 bottles of shampoo, then escaped drunkenly around the room. So here it's just like Chomsky's idea when it's come to Chomsky in his book, The Colorless Ideas, Colorless Green Ideas. Let's now move on to, we are not digging deep into these theories, but we are taking the main points, okay, or the hints. So then let's move on to the next theory, which is nativistic approach. And why is nativistic, okay, where the idea stems from. So it tries to answer, the nativistic approach or theory tries to answer questions which behaviorism failed to answer. How is it possible for children to acquire the language system with all its complexities in such a short time? Why is their acquisition not affected by the wide variety of linguistic input they receive? Why are the development stages of acquisition the same across different different human languages? How can children understand and produce sentences which they have never heard before? So these are the questions which were being raised or raised by Noam Chomsky. So human beings are born with an innate capacity, or Chomsky called it language faculty, to learn languages, and Chomsky called it LAD, L-A-D, LAD, language acquisition device. nativistic interpretation. Input, primarily linguistic data, adult speech, then general language learning principles, leads to grammatical knowledge, which are rules, then child's speech, the output. Okay, and then let's move on to cognitive approach. It questions the idea of language for the knowledge of language. It suggests that, hello? This knowledge is determined by general cognitive principles. Acquisition is linked with cognitive development and maturity. Acquisition is linked with cognitive development and maturity. And then let's move on to constructivism. And here, the one who came with this idea, both of them, but they see it from different angles, okay, or from different perspective. We have Jean Piaget and then Lev Vygotsky, the Russian scholar, psychologist, and linguist, mainly psychologist, and the Swiss psychologist, Jean Piaget. Thank you. Thank you. Constructivism views learning as a process in which the learner constructs knowledge based on their past experiences. So this one thing. The other idea or tenant, one of the tenants, the teacher only acts as a facilitator who encourages students to explore within given framework. And this is exactly what we do. And this is exactly what the British Council does nowadays. If you look at the so-called 21st century skills, and now there's a tendency by changing the name from 21st century skills to the so-called global skills, So whereby the teacher or instructor or the doctor is a facilitator, okay? So because they are focusing on the learner-centered, or which is called now is called the learner-centered approach. Learners may collaborate with others to organize their ideas and learn from each other to construct their own knowledge. And recently, I came across the so-called humanistic, which is recent, very latest approach. It's called the humanistic approach. Again, Piaget sees the linguistic development in the child as development of cognitive capacities, interaction between development of linguistic experiences. So we have two angles or two pillars that he sees language as, or the development, linguistic development in child. So development of cognitive capacities and the development of linguistics. Whereas Lev Vygotsky sees it differently because is not only cognitive, but the social factor plays an a contributing role, okay? One of the contributing factors is the social factor. So he sees from not only cognitive capacities, but also from a sociological factor, okay? The society plays, or the environment plays a sine qua non in linguistic development in the child. Again, Dean Piaget's cognitive development stages, he has 4 stages, okay? He has a semi-motor stage, which is start from birth, okay, to 2 years old. And then the other stage is called the pre-operational stage from 2 to 7 years old. Then we have number 3 is called the operation stage, is from 7 years old to 11, okay, ranging between these ages. And the operation stage, adolescence and adulthood. So here you are adult enough and you can experience language. So we see that this is how Jean Piaget sees the cognitive development in a child, okay? He has 4 stages. But let's see what's different. We have something different from this, totally the opposite, okay? From what Jean Piaget sees, we have a linguist, a Russian and from the Soviet Union, when there was a so-called USSR, okay? So by the name of Lev Vygotsky, sees as ZPD, ZPD or Z, okay, British or American. What I want to do, what I want to do, what I can do, what I can't do, and what I can do with help. So here, as if you are talking about a barrel, so you have 3 stages, 3 different stages, okay? What can do as an infant, and what I can do with the help, and he's called it knowledgeable others. Lev Vygotsky called it knowledgeable other, okay? So by the help of others. And what we can do, or what I can do by myself. This is called what I can do, and what I can do with the help is called zone of proximal development. So we have ZPD. It stands for zone of proximal development. Zone of proximal development in education. And this is translation in Arabic, منطقة التطور الأدنى. Yes, zone of proximal development skills too difficult for a child to master on his or her own. So here we need someone, somebody to take the lead. And here the first teachers for us as human being is our parents, right? So here we start from the parents, then in schools or at schools, the teachers and university doctors and so on. And then the whole environment is not only the schools or the formal education, but it could be non-formal from the environment, right? From the surrounding areas. So, but that can be done with guidance and encouragement from knowledgeable person. This is what he calls it. What's not known and what's known. So here, what's known, what's not known. There's something in between. This in between is called ZPD, zone of proximal development. Zone of proximal development. The distance between the actual developmental level as determined by independent problem solving and level of potential development as determined through problem solving under adult guidance or in collaboration with more capable peers. And this is in terms of the class. So in class, we let our students, and now the so-called dynamic class, you're gonna let your students work together in team or in twos, in pairs, then as a group, okay, and individually. So here, when they are working with in pairs, this is called a peer view. So they learn from each other. They do learn from each other. Okay, sorry. So sorry. Okay, this is again, this is a Dean Piaget, and we have here two theories on psycholinguists. So one says that a child can learn or a child can undergo through this stages, the 4 stages as you have seen here, but for Lev, he sees that no, there's a stage or there's an area where an infant can do this by himself on his own, and there's another area that what I can do, okay, so he can do this beyond his reach, and there's something that what I can do with the help of other. So with what I can do and what I can do, there's something in between. So this in between is called the ZPD, zone of proximal development, as you can see here. And that was 1978. He was young. I think he died in his late 30s, okay, or late 30s, sorry. Again, Piaget, 1896, 1980, as you can see here. And then we have Vygotsky, 1896 and 1934. So roughly he died in the age of 37 or 37 years old. Okay, but he made contribution, as you can see. This here, Lev Vygotsky. It's me saying thank you for all of you. This is me, AK Hanno or Akram Hanno. Thank you all for attending this webinar. I'm so delighted that you are here. I'm so delighted that you made it today. So thank you very much indeed. But before we go, I think that there's a video game that we have it. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Highly appreciated. So there is an edutaining game, as we do, or as always, we do edutaining games because I do believe in entertaining game as a matter of rehearsement and reinforcement, but not that reinforcement of BF scanner, because here the reinforcement, what I do mean by that, so we need to refresh our mind. So when we do this game, the idea will be vivid and clear. So will you please, thank you. Before you go, thank you. Before you leave this game here, we need to play. Then there will be a chance for Q&A, okay, or comments. So before you leave, am I clear? Yes. Okay, brother. So first of all, just we have yes.
Okay, hello, so dear Mr. Hano.
Yes, we have a game. Yes, my friend Fi. So, and then we will go back to the questions or Q&A, if you allow me.
Okay, so don't care. We can go to the play.
Oh, okay.
To the game.
Yes, let's go to this. Could you please scan this QR code? If you don't mind, will you please scan this QR code? Hello? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Okay.
Yes. Okay.
Yes, Prof, we are scanning it immediately.
Okay. Thank you, bro, Shakur. Thank you. Thank you. We have two waiting for more. Yes, it's gonna be nicer if you joined. Wow, great. So we have Lemo and Nabil. Yes, if we got two, only two players, one or two, we're gonna start. Yes, I need only two or one player. Wow, great. So we have Lemo and Nabil. Yes, if we got two, only two players, one or two, we're gonna start. Yes. Okay, we have Nabil, we have Mr. Shakur and Lemo. So may I have just one player? Yes. Come on, guys, come on. Only one, and then we're gonna start. Hello? Yes. I need only one if you please, only one if you please. Come on, guys, come on. Hello? Only one or two. I'm eager to see players and to see winners.
Sorry, sir. Maybe if you copy and paste the link in the chat.
Yeah, this is exactly what I did. This is what I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for your gentle reminder. Okay, let's see how many. Yes, we have brother Muhammad Abdul Shakur, and then we have sis, Dr. Asma, Dr. Lamia, and yes, Mr. Pai. Yes, will you please? Okay. Shall we start? Shall we?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, let's start. Thank you. Okay, we got one answer. Bravo, Limo. Is based on response chains.
Very quiz.
Wow, great. Bravo. Bravo. It would take a very short time to learn the SR, pairings of language. Okay. Oh, no one? Okay. Human beings are born with blah, blah, blah capacity to learn languages. One answer? Uh-huh. Yes, come on. Two answers, excellent. Great, innate, bravo. Let's move on to the last question. ZPD stands for? Only two answers? Three, bravo. Advanced Linguistics, Language Acquisition, LA. Hello. Nabil, thank you. Bravo, Limo, bravo. Congrats. Congrats.
Thank you, thank you.
Yeah. You owe me virtual chocolate, by the way.
Yeah, should be given this time. You should send it.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Wow,
You're
it's
welcome.
interactive.
Yeah.
It's interactive. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome, all of you.
Yeah.
Okay, pressing technology. Yeah, sorry for that. Wow, so sorry to hear that. If time allows us, we can play again, but I think that it's time for Q&A. So thank you. We can make a screenshot, by the way, for this if you wish. Let me just do this if you would like. And yes, here we go. Yes. Okay, it's taken and we can share it later. Yes, we may share it here if we can, if it's possible. No, I think we can share it here, but okay. Yes, now I'm ready for any questions. Yeah, I can hear you well. Thank you, Dr. Ahmad. Thank you. Yes. The video is not clear. Really? Oh, so sorry for that. But can you see my screen? I mean, is my screen visible?
Yes, yes, it is.
Okay. Yeah, so warmly welcome you to ask me any questions regarding the four stages, regarding the four things that we tackled today. And by now, we're gonna close the chapter of languages acquisition, and then in the upcoming webinars, we will be shedding the lights on the so-called micro-linguistics and macro-linguistics if I'm alive. If I'm dead, God be with me. Yes, Mr. Fay. Thank you. The
Yeah,
floor
thank
is
you
yours.
so much. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, I can. Or yes, we can, as
Okay,
Barack
so
Obama says.
okay, so thank you so much, Mr. Hano.
Yes,
It was really engaging and insightful webinar
thank
on
you.
advanced linguistic, and really it was wonderful. And the game also was really enjoyable. So thank you, Mr. Limo, for being first.
Yes,
So I just have a question, Mr. Hano.
yes,
So considering individual differences in cognitive development,
yeah.
so how might factors like culture or environmental exposure influence the uniformity of language acquisition stages across different human languages?
Thank you, brother. Thank you for your nice compliment. I am really moved by what you are saying regarding the webinar and this PowerPoint presentation. And thank you again for sharing your thoughts with us. By the way, when it's come to talking about the role of the environment plays a significant role in our life and shaping us, because the environment and the culture that we live in shapes us who we are, okay? So for me, I totally agree with Lev Vygotsky, because he says that you have knowledge, but your knowledge is not that full, so you need someone to guide you. And this someone, it starts from within. Charity starts at home, right? So it starts from your mom and dad, from our parents, and then moves on to, for example, if you are taking formal education, to schools, right? And then universities. But the environment plays a significant role. So those who are surrounding you, okay, your neighbors, the neighborhood that you grew up with. So all these are contributing factors and shaping us as who we are. So hopefully that I answer your question, bro.
Yeah, it's really clear because I see what you mean because it's the environment that determines sometimes who we are. So it's
Yes.
really clear. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you, bro. Thank you. Thank you, bro, from Ethiopia. And thanks a lot. Send my regards to all our Ethiopian friends.
Thank
I'm
you.
from
I will.
Senegal.
I will.
Yeah,
I'm from
yes,
Senegal,
and
Senegal.
yes, we have brother Shakur. Hello, Mr. Muhammad. Can you hear me?
Yes, Mr. AK.
Thank you.
Well, very good. It's my pleasure to have been invited to your webinar. It is a pleasure, actually.
Thank you, bro. Thank you. And the pleasure's mine too.
Yes, it's appreciated. It's been quite a long time, I think.
Yes.
That's right.
Yep.
Well, I was actually fascinated by this very wonderful webinar, especially talking about the theories and methods of language learning. I think it's a very fantastic. I
Thank you.
appreciate that.
Thank you, bro.
And
It's really quite touching.
of course, and those theories that we talked about, like constructivism and all these type of theories, they are all actually effective and very fantastic. And I believe that, the more we learn much about the theories, especially how human learns languages, I think it will widen our horizon in terms of acquiring the language and delivering it. I just wanted to remind us, especially the presence, that also we would want to consider, moving from the old theories into considering the new theories such as the AI theory right now, or tool, if I could say. I believe that there are a lot of changes happened in the language acquisition, especially right now. But I want to drive people's attention to the same theories that we talk about because they are humanly more than the one we are doing it right now. And in that case, I wanted to remind also us about the instead of saying AI, which is artificial intelligence, I want us to say HI, which is the human interactions that could actually, equal, if not exactly, bridge the gap that the AI tool and the theory of how this particular way in teaching language has come in. So considering the human interaction, I believe that the way how nativism teaching is really amazing and very fantastic theory that I would want to learn much more about. Otherwise, I appreciate the opportunity, Professor Akram. Make sure I do not lose any webinar.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. Bajillion, if I said bajillion thanks is not quite enough, but thank you for your quite touching comment. And now I knew something new, by the way, because you have your own coinage.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks a lot. So instead of AI, human activity. That's wonderful. Human AI, human who are behind this AI, right? And AI is not new, but it has been and it has undergone stages until it comes to modern day. So AI starts seeing the late of the 20th century, by the way. So, and Google use AI, the algorithm that we can use nowadays in Google Translate, and they develop that. So, but now the generative AI that we use it, and the AI that came with Elon Musk, the X-Man, or the man of Tesla, and so on, and those who are coming with this revolutionary ideas, if I call them, yes, we need to use them, but I do believe in my bones that if we do and make use of technology and AI and so on, so technology will not gonna replace us, but we need to make use of it because we need to use it as Les Brown, if you recall, brother Shakur. If you don't use it, you'll lose it, right?
Definitely.
Yeah, so we're gonna make use of it. Thank you, bro. Thank you. I am
You're right.
really moved by your comments about this area.
Fantastic, Professor.
Yeah, thank you. Yes, come on, guys. If you have any thoughts that you want to share, because sharing is caring, any communication or any comments, any question. So I am ready to answer, and we are ready to answer, by the way. It's not me only, but four eyes can see far better than two.
Yeah, thank you. Can I give a few short comments?
Yes.
Yeah, thank you for this opportunity. It's my first time to join
Yeah.
your webinars,
Yes.
and I really loved it. Yeah, thank you for that. And here in Ethiopia, we have the Ethiopian English Language Professional Association. So we do the same thing with teachers, and we try to reach as much teachers as possible in Ethiopia and also in Africa too. And thank you for the opportunity. I really loved and I really get very excited about your presentation. So
Yeah.
I'm
Yes.
yeah, I'm sure I will also join you with your next webinar. And one thing I want to comment is, can I have your Facebook group link, because the other one is not working for me from the Africa ELTA Telegram group, WhatsApp group. So
Okay.
if you have the link for your, I actually get your link, your YouTube link,
Yes.
but the other one is not working for me. So if you can put, can you put it in the chat?
Okay, thank
So
you. Thank you,
thank you.
brother. Really appreciate your words, and what you are saying are really, Mr. Faye, is value added for me and for what we are doing. I do appreciate your words. So for joining us for the first time and this impression that you take, so you took, so I'm very glad, and this shows that how humble man you are. So this from your own modesty and humbleness. So thank you very
Thank you.
much indeed, brother. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm glad to have you, by the way. Is an invaluable opportunity for me and a value added as well.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. So let me share my Facebook, and yes, let me stop sharing and then I will share in the link. Yes, here we go. Let me share just my. Okay. And here we go. Yes. This is my Facebook account, and I use the same number, Mr. Faye. If correct me if I'm wrong, by the way, if in pronouncing your name.
It's Nabil.
Nabil. Thank you, Mr. Nabil. So this is my Facebook account, and the same WhatsApp email, WhatsApp number that I use in Alta Africa, the same. So we can stay in touch or be connected together.
Thank you. But I didn't say it in the chat.
Oh.
Did you?
Did I send it to Mr. Nabil? Oh, to Imad. So let me send it to all. So yes. Meeting group chat. Yes. Have you saved it?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. So, and we will stay in touch through WhatsApp as well. And I do remember that you just conducted a webinar, okay, on WhatsApp, right? Two weeks ago,
Yeah,
3 weeks ago.
3 weeks ago. Yeah.
Yes, yeah. Thank you, brother. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, it
Thank you.
was really nice to have you.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yes, any question, ladies and gentlemen? Do you have anything to share? Sharing is caring. Hello? Can you
Hello.
hear me? Yes, doctor, Lemia. Lemo.
Yeah, hello
Right?
everybody. How are you?
I'm
Yes, this
doing
is me.
well.
Yeah. So, hello everybody, and thank you, Hanno, for this insightful presentation. Really appreciate it. You see, it's not a question, it's just like posing some point for discussion,
Yes.
or just to get to know your point of view regarding the role of, or how can we relate the language acquisition series in teaching and learning.
Yes.
This is the first one.
Yes.
Okay, you finished, then I move to the second point.
Okay. For me, if we would like to bridge the gap between the theories and practicality, some of them are practical and some of them are really useful, and we do use them in our daily routine. I mean, in everyday lessons that we do use them. Like for me, I do believe in the so-called humanistic approach and the learner-centered, okay? So, or student-centered. So now there's no that the all ideas of the all theories of teacher as dictator, right? But now you
Yeah,
are
of
going
course.
to be as a facilitator, and you have a dynamic classroom. And the latest
Yes.
theory that I found really useful and directly linked to what you are talking about, Dr. Lamia, is the humanistic approach. So this is one of the latest, according to the recent study.
Theories.
And the recent one, the humanistic approach does believe or entirely relies on students learn autonomously. So this is called autonomous learning. Okay, so you're gonna just guide them, give them some hints, and they're gonna do the homework. You not need to bother yourself, you not need to exhaust yourself. Just give them the ideas, guidelines, okay, and then they do the job, and they do it in class, indoor, outdoor, okay, in as class activity, out class activity, in open area, because now we are doing rehearsals with our students, and rehearsals, one of the good strategies of rehearsals is we will have, or we will end up having production. So students will be able to produce language, and this is the ultimate goal of what we are doing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, this is very true, because I believe that incorporating this series ensure that teaching practices are responsive to how students acquire language, and also making learning more effective, engaging, and adapting, as you mentioned, not 21st century need, that's the global learning and the needs for the new era learning and teaching.
Yes.
The second point is that how can you regard the current situation and how that the acquisition of language is affected or being affected by the context, for example, in the context of wartime, so where children may experience many destructive social environment and they have limited access to education and to communication and to social interaction. How might these extreme conditions impact the natural sequence of language acquisition? And to what extent can we make other alternatives or alternative forms of communication to compensate for these disruptions?
Thank you for raising this terrible question, by the way. It's a very deep question and has something to do with not only us as individuals, but organization, governments, and so on. Because
Yeah,
according to the Salamanca Convention, it states that education for all and no one left behind, right?
yeah,
So those who are left behind, how can we reach them? How can outreach them, right? So those who are facing difficulties in acquiring the language in terms of L1 or L2, right? And mainly L1, right?
yeah,
So there are some efforts, and 2 days ago, I was following BBC, so I realized that in South Africa, there's a train. They made a train, a public train, so you can get vaccinated or healthcare and so on through the train. So everyone can reach this and it's handy for all of them. So for us, I think that we need to do our best with all means, okay? If you are intellectually curious about extending your hand for help, we are not gonna wait for governments to do our job or their job. So we can take the initiative and do our job by all means. So do what you have or do what you can with what you have wherever you are. This is what I do believe in. So hopefully that
yeah,
I answer and nailed your question.
yeah, of course. Thank you. Thank you, Akram.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks a lot, Livia. Thank you. It's really wonderful. And these questions are big questions, really deep questions, actually. So hopefully that we can all find answers to questions because it's very clear that education for all and no one left behind. So these are inalienable rights, right? So for every child, for every human being. What do you think about that?
Yeah, for me, that's it. All child have the right to get the same kind of education, but unfortunately, we are living behind in the African countries. We are waiting for things to happen.
Yeah.
You see, comparing. When I compare the type of education, the type, let me say that even the type of teaching our kids have, I always felt so bad because even teaching, you see, let me say that as teachers, we are studying theories in our colleges, but we do not apply them in the actual teaching. Now we have mentioned that we need to use the kind of theories in the actual teaching, but it's all just in papers, in exams, and in research. But nobody is to take into consideration or into account the differences, the different series that should be taken when we come to the actual teaching, or for example, the preferences of our students, or the different learning styles. All these are just series. Nobody is to make kind of differentiation when teaching. Nobody is to know about the background of the learner. That's to make his learning, as we mentioned, the learner center. Now we are to the teaching approaches, the teaching strategies are to center on the needs of the learner, not the teacher. That's so when I come to my class, I'm to think about how my students are different according to their age, according to their background, according to their culture, according to their styles. But here I have like 5 pages. I need to complete them. I need to finish. I need to prepare them for the exam, not for the outside world. Yeah, Akram. We are preparing them only for exams, not for live. That's, as you mentioned, the 21st century skills. No critical thinking in our classes, no problem solving, no all these things, as you know, and I'm sure that most of you have come across the IB teaching or the IB learning system. By the way, I like the IB learning system because it's the one that focus on how to not to create, how to build the character, and how to build new generations with all the needed skills for the coming the coming future. Do you agree with me? You are not preparing them for the coming future.
Yes, I
You are
so
just
agree with
preparing them to
you.
pass exams.
Yes.
Unfortunately, I have to admit this.
I told you you are talking about big words, but actually right now, yeah, we need to talk about this. We need to confront this, and we need to work on this. Why? Because there's a call for us, and who is going to answer this call? We need to answer this call, and there's call for this generation, our generation and Gen Zers, right? I mean Gen Z, those who were born in
Yeah,
2000, right?
yeah, of course.
Yeah, thank
So
you.
sometimes I feel myself separated.
Oh, yeah. Do you see that there's a gap, right? So there's a generational gap, right?
For me, طبعا يعني even if I see, like, I don't feel it, but they feel it. They feel
Yeah.
it. They really
So we
feel
need
it.
to break this gap. We need to break this
Yeah,
and make it an intergenerational strategy for
yeah.
learners to come. Okay. And this
Hope
is what we
so.
will
Hope
be
so.
working on, by the way. So we need to work together, all of us. We need to work together and try to make difference, because this one, someone says, or once says that we are ashamed to die without any major contribution to the mankind. So it's a kind of contribution with what you have and whenever you are and where you are. This is what I do believe in. So we need to make something. And it's doable, because someone, as Nelson Mandela says, is always seem impossible until it's done, right? So we can make a difference.
Yeah, we can make it.
Yes. So thank you for your really wonderful comment, and it opened my eyes, and
You're welcome.
very enriching, by the way. Thank you, Dr.
Thank
Lamia.
you. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes. And there's Dr. Asma and Dr. Ahmed Babikal, or Prof. Ahmed Babikal Tahir, if I'm not mistaken. Can you hear me? Hello? Am I audible? Yes. If there any question to be raised, any comment about today's webinar, any concerns that you want to raise? Thank you, Mr. Nabil. Thank you, Dr. Lamia, for raising such wonderful questions and touching upon concrete ideas and issues need to be addressed and need to be tackled, by the way. So thank you, all of you. I'm so delighted to have you this evening. It's really wonderful. Have a wonderful, blessed in night without nightmare. It means that in French we say bon cauchemar. So without nightmares, actually, for all of you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, my friend Nabil. It's really honor to have you. It's my honor to stay with us and be a part of this family. So we are family, and we will
Yeah.
try to do our best of all of us.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm happy
Yes.
to be here.
Thank you. Yes, Dr. Asma, I think he's here. Do you have anything to share? Sharing is caring. So yes, we need to hear your voice and Dr. Ahmed's voice. Thank you, Dr. Asma. And thank you, Dr. Lamia. And thank you, Mr. Nabil, my friend from Ethiopia. We are neighbors, by the way. And I am from Sudan, my friend, Nabil.
Oh, wow, great.
Yeah, but I'm
I
based here
didn't
in
know.
KSA, Saudi Arabia, but originally from Sudan.
Great. I didn't know that. Thank you. Wow.
Yes. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. It's really an honor. I highly appreciate your presence, and your presence is an added value for our webinars.
Yeah, thank you so much. I'm happy to be here.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. Thank you. Have a wonderful day. See you next week. And good spirit. Be safe. Stay well. And until next time.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Bye.